All right. Hey there, YouTube. My name is Brian Kujawa. I am a Google certified trainer and I'm also a public school teacher. And I'm going to show you today an overview of how to use Google Classroom. So let's begin. The first step is simply getting to Classroom. There are two main ways. The first is to simply type in classroom.google.com and it will take you there. Or if you're familiar with the 9 little dots here, the Google Apps icon, if you click on that, it gives you an assortment of Google Apps. And if you find Classroom in that list, such as here, it will also take you to this page. So that's how to get to Google Classroom. Next is how to create a class. In the upper right, you click on this plus sign and then create class. So you give it basic class information. I will just say it's a test class. Section you don't really have to worry about, but you could say, or you could even do the period, or the class period. So maybe third hour, subject, sure, maybe it's music theory, and room, virtual. Create. So let's do an overview. There are 4 tabs on the top: stream, classwork, people, and grades. So let's talk about the stream. It's mostly where you post announcements or updates or reminders. So to do so, you just simply click and you might say hello, post, and that's it. So that's a really basic overview of the stream. I'll get into more details in the intermediate video. Next is an overview of classwork. So this is where you post assignments and how to do so. Let's do that quickly. So you click the big create button, assignment, and it will give you some little bits of information. So we'll call this test assignment, and you could say follow the instructions. This is where you can add, for example, a Google Doc directly from your Drive, but you fill out the basic title, instructions, it's for third hour, point value, maybe 10 points, due date, maybe we'll say on the 8th at the end of the day. Topics we'll talk about more. You can make a rubric. So there's lots that goes into this, but at the very basic, give it a title, a deadline, assign, and then it will tell you about topics. And that's just another way to organize your classwork. I'll get into more of that in the next video. So there's our test assignment. The next tab is people. So this is where you add your students, or if you have any co-teachers, or even if you don't have a co-teacher, but you have a colleague or a principal or a para, someone you want to have access to just be able to look at or maybe help with the class. You can add a teacher by clicking this, and within your domain, you can start typing their name and it should pop up. And the same way for students. So the long way to do it is just like I said, you click that and you can type their name, and that takes a long time. But sometimes if a student has a trouble with technology or needs a little bit of assistance with getting their name logged in, you can do that manually. But a quicker way is to click that little plus sign, and then you'll get an invite link. And then by clicking this, you copy it, and then you can email that. And then from within their email, they can click the link and it will take them to a page to join. So it just saves you a lot of steps. One other way is back in the stream, you have this class code. So either if you were in person or even if it was virtual, this code here, so EAFC7RJ, you could display that if you're doing a share screen, or again, if you're in person, put it on the projector, you can make it full screen. And then what the students would do is in their navigation from their end, they would click plus join class, and then they would put their code here, and then they would be able to join. And then last, we have the grade category. Recently, Google Classroom has been working nicely with various grading softwares such as Infinite Campus. So you may have to check with the technology department of your given organization, but there is a way to sync your Google Classroom gradebook with at least Infinite Campus, and I assume they're working with other platforms such as Skyward, PowerSchool, etc. But this is where the grades would pop up. And one last thing is just to take a look at the settings, which is here in the upper right. And a couple things I want to bring to your attention that I recommend changing. So the first is here, stream. By default, it has students can post and comment. And depending on what your class is, you can decide if you like that option. I usually opt for only teachers can post or comment. Additionally, this notification setting, classwork on the stream, the default is to show condensed notifications. So what that means is any assignment that you create in classwork will also show up in the stream. And what I found the problem with that is it really makes the stream quite cluttered and hard to find information. So I usually say hide notifications on that. And then you would save those. And then there's actually settings in another location. So in the upper left here, there's another settings. And you might find that you're going to get an enormous amount of emails after creating a classroom, and it will notify you of everything that is shown right here. When someone comments, when there's a student submits work, when there's a late submission, and where all of our emails are quite cluttered already. So I just simply recommend to untoggle this top switch, and then you won't get those email notifications. And you can always turn them back on, and you can pick and choose. Maybe you only want to be notified when a student submits a late assignment, but you really don't need those email notifications, and you don't have to hit save there, because Google Classroom really is an excellent tool to organize all that information. And you can check your assignment. And if I had students here under the classwork and grades, you can see who has turned it in and who hasn't. So that is an overview of the Google Classroom. I hope this was helpful, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks.